Hi, I'm Heather from Here Booktubes, and today is Black Romance Author Recommendations. Now, why am I giving Black Romance Author recommendations, particularly as a white person, particularly as a mood reader? Well, it's very simple. If you don't read diversely on purpose, you won't read diversely. You are going to have 99 white authors put in front of you for every Black author that you accidentally stumble across. So Black authors and authors of color in general are published less, they are promoted less, they have less of a budget behind their marketing. They are usually, especially for traditionally published, there's a very small number of them that are going to be published each year. So of course then you go to the indie romances. That's a great place to find authors of color, but they don't have the same marketing. You're not as likely to stumble across them accidentally. Now, I am going to give you 3 places where I have really found some amazing Black author recommendations. One is Ashley from Bookish Realm. She did a Black love romance video recommendation. So this is where all the main characters are Black specifically. And she did several authors there. There's a few that I've read that aren't in my video. There's a couple in my video that I got from her. And then there was a couple more that I haven't tried yet. So she's a really great place to... Hi, so Editing Heather here, and Ashley from Bookish Realm actually made an announcement since I recorded this video, and I wanted to include it. So she and Diedra from Shade Tree Reads, who I'm not familiar with, have started a new collab booktube channel about Black love, which is 2 Black main characters in love romance, and it's called Now That's Black Love. It's in the description. When I am editing this and filming this and uploading, it is not live yet. So you can subscribe, but there's no content. I think that we have content coming within the next 2 weeks. So it's not a big wait time, but there's nothing right now. But I have gotten a ton of recommendations from Ashley. She is a well-known figure in the booktube community, at least in the circles I run in. So I'm really excited about this. I would love if we as a romance community really went out of our way to support this, and I'm very excited, like very excited. So I wanted to make sure and include it in this video because I think it's going to be a phenomenal resource. And then Mina Reads, I got several recommendations from her and I've loved them also. And then Ash, I can't remember her name because of course I didn't write it down. I don't know why, but I follow her on Instagram and she is all Black romance all the time, and she is really a great authority on it. She honestly knows what she's talking about, so she's a really great one to follow. And then on top of that, I do have to give credit to Lacey from Lacey's Book Lovers because she is the one who introduced me to Alexandria House, who is my very first and most beloved author. But for a quick side note, obviously Talia Hibbert is mentioned a lot. I have read and loved Get Life Chloe Brown, so she's not on my list, but I have read and loved her. But other amazing Black authors that I hear a lot about that I haven't actually tried are Beverly Jenkins, obviously, Alyssa Cole. Okay, Beverly Jenkins writes historical romance. Alyssa Cole, I know she has a royal series. I don't know what else she writes, but I know she has a royal series. Kennedy Ryan writes, I do believe hard-hitting contemporary is kind of her overall sphere. And then Rebekah Weatherspoon writes a lot of BDSM and a lot of different sexualities as well. So I know she has a few that are bi and polyamorous. I have plans to read more of Talia Hibbert, and I plan on picking up Beverly Jenkins and Rebekah Weatherspoon very soon. However, they are not on my list today. Those are obviously ones that are mentioned all the time, but if somehow you have not heard about them, I hear that they're amazing, so there you go. But my first one is Alexandria House. Now, I started reading her in June when Lacey gave the recommendation in a video, and I have read 13 of her books since then. Some of those have been her holiday shorts, I read all of her McLean Brothers series, and I read all of Them Boys, which is a trilogy of novellas about 3 different brothers. So the first one is Let Me Love You, which is McLean Brothers #1, again by Alexandria House. Her books are on Kindle Unlimited. And this first one is about a rapper. The second brother is an NBA star. The third brother is a businessman. And the fourth brother is a recovering addict. This first one with the rapper, she has a famous ex and so is not too starstruck, but she is a huge fan of Big South, and she is sent with a necklace to deliver to him. She has a really bad misogynistic first impression of him and is not pleased with it. He is very taken with her and decides to make it right and pursue her. Alexandria House, her greatness, I feel like, really lies in how her heroes treat their heroines, the main characters. She just writes the most swoony men who will just do anything for them. And you root for them so hard because you're just like, every single time she brings so much sweetness in with the trouble and the mistakes and the drama and all the things. But those men, they will do anything for the woman. I know if you've heard me talk about Alexandria House before, I know I always say that, but I'm telling you that she is great at it. And I will literally pick up her books like every few weeks. I feel like every couple of weeks I'm reading another Alexandria House because she is a whole mood all by herself. Her Instagram is also really amazing because she does posts of the characters, and she posts like their text messages between each other and their magazine covers and all these things, and she's honestly the best at it. She's really great. Then I have Christina C Jones. Christina C Jones might be one of the funniest authors I have ever read in my life. I've read 4 of her books. Read her whole Love Sisters trilogy, which the first one is I Think I Might Love You. This is a walking disaster of a heroine, and then the hero is like trying to avoid being collateral damage and not doing a great job of it. Things just keep happening, starting with their meeting and going all the way through the book. And this has the funniest scene. She's taking this animal to the vet, and she doesn't have a pet carrier, and the way she improvises, I read this like 5 months ago, and I cannot help but laugh every time I think about it. And I think about it all the time because I'm just like, how did you come up with that? Who would do that? It's just the funniest thing. I really love her books. I plan on reading a ton more of her books in the coming months. And she's just really super funny. She also has an AuthorTube channel here on YouTube, and I really enjoy her writing vlogs. Then I have B-Love. B-Love has her own publishing company where she publishes Black love romance, I believe exclusively. I don't think that she has anything else under her umbrella, if you will. I read 3 books by her, and she writes some of the craziest books I've ever read. Specifically this one that I'm going to talk about. So, Set Up for Love by B-Love. By the way, all 3 of these authors that I've talked about so far were on my best novellas of 2020 list. If you go to that particular video, like 10 of them, I don't know, that's a number that I'm throwing out, are Black romance authors, and they were just the best. Set Up for Love by B-Love. This is one of the craziest books I have ever read. It was wild. We get 3 different points of view. We get Zara, who is our main female character. We get Caden, who she is married to, and their marriage is in distress. And then we get the viewpoint of Maven, who is a guy that the husband, Caden, has hired to rob him and Zara so that Caden can appear to be a hero and win back his wife's affections. And Maven sees Zara and is like, "It's not your money I've taken." And it was crazy. This went to places and escalated in ways that I was not anticipating. It was just I didn't know what to expect. And honestly, I don't know what to expect. I want to read more and more of her books because I'm just like, what are you going to give me? Like, I don't know. This book does have cheating in it. Not only has Caden been cheating on Zara for a long time in their marriage, and that is one big reason why their marriage is in trouble, but Zara and Maven do sleep together without her breaking up with Caden. So there is cheating in this book. I'm not an advocate for cheating. You know this, I'm sure. However, this book, honestly, it made so much sense with the storyline. It was so crazy getting all their points of views. It was just wild. It was crazy, insane. I can't tell you enough that if you want a book that like you just don't know where it's gonna go, this is awesome, amazing, fantastic, mind-blowing, just goodness. Then I have Alexandria Warren. I have read 3 books by her. 2 of them were holiday novellas, and I'm going to read her Valentine's Day novella. She writes really good, happy for now, because her holiday novellas are a tale of 2 cities. So you have a character from this city and a character from this city, and they meet up and find love, and you have a happy for now, but it's really interesting. I definitely think she leaves the door wide open for you to see them having a happily ever after. But the one I'm going to talk about is not a holiday one, is Love Unsolicited. Here we have a billionaire love interest, and our main character honestly is a little bit of a con artist, but not anymore. But sometimes she needs the high and the fix. So she does not need money, but she is kind of looking for a mark and picks him. And he kind of catches on to her and doesn't really care. And then they go their separate ways. They don't exchange information, but her sister actually works for him. He is the new boss or something. I think he's the new boss. And so their paths continue to cross. And I really liked that she didn't work for him. She didn't need the money. So even though he was a billionaire, I felt like their power dynamic was really pretty equal. And I really liked that. Then I have Nikki Clark. I've only read 2 of her books, and they were both in the last part of December. But she writes paranormal romance, and it is so good. So the first one that I read was Taste, which is a vampire quickie. It's like 84 pages. It's a vampire romance between 2 Black main characters, and it has history. It has a very unique take on vampires. It has a lot of smut. It has a lot of tension. It was so good within 80 pages. And so our main character, which I love this so much, is like a 200-year-old vampire. I hate when the main character has been a vampire for all of a week. Like, can we have a woman with some paranormal experience? That would be cool. So she's been a vampire for 200 years. And as a vampire, she has never been able to reach completion. And so she has a plan. She's tired of being alone. So she's going to make a vampire to be her companion. And when she's kind of scoping her party out to find the perfect someone to turn into a vampire, this guy shows up. And man, the attraction between them, the smut, is so good. It was amazing. And then I also read Quirk, which is, hold on, let me read this. Laika Planet Lovers #1. This is an alien romance. So the aliens are kind of like Black culture, but without the racism on Earth and without a lot of the issues that are automatic, I guess, for Black people in America specifically. So our main character is obviously a human, and she's from Chicago. And Quirk, our alien, knows right away that she is his soulmate, his mate, the one. They have a thing, you know, that makes that happen and lets them know. And so he is kind of low-key stalking her, trying to figure out how to make his intentions known. And she approaches him. He offends her a couple different times because he is an alien. He doesn't understand all the things that would be offensive to her. And she figures out that he is an alien. And there is a very unique take on alien pregnancy in this book. So if you don't like pregnancy at all, that is a big part of this. But it's wild and crazy. Like, it is not your standard pregnancy storyline, I guess. It was crazy. And the thing that I didn't love about this book was that there are a lot of misunderstandings with the main character just not understanding his intent or what's going on, and she never stops and is like, hey, can you explain this to me? She's always offended and running away and mad. And it doesn't bother him, but it did kind of bother me, because I was like, all right, you've already had 9 misunderstandings. Maybe this one is also a misunderstanding. You should see what he says about it before you decide that you're breaking up. That was my only issue with it, but I think this might have even been like her first book ever written. So we're going to give grace there, and I am going to read so many more of her books. Then I have Francesca Penn. I have read 3 books by her, and I've only really loved one of them, but I did want to mention it. That is Axel in Heaven. This is an interracial romance, so our main character is Black, even though you have this white guy on the cover. And it is a fake dating romance. It starts out exactly on page 1. It was so fast and gripping. I really enjoyed it. It was funny, it was cute, it was sweet. Our hero is like Thor. His name is Axel. Our main character's name is Heaven, so the title, Axel in Heaven, is clever. It's clever, I'll give her that. So our main character is on vacation, and she's accidentally on vacation where her ex-fiance is marrying her nemesis the same week. And it turns out her friends booked their tickets under the bridal party discount without telling her that they were even there. So then she sees them walking on the beach, and she's like, oh no, I'm not dealing with this. And Axel is coming out of the water, and she just walks right up to him and is like, hey, will you be my fake boyfriend? That's my ex. And he kills it. He does such a good job, and it is so delightful. And then they leave vacation and don't exchange information. He eventually finds her online. It was hard. He didn't really know her last name and stuff. Or he did, but he didn't know how to spell it. And then he asks her to be his fake girlfriend, and things escalate. And it was so good. And I will tell you that there is an attempted sexual assault on the hero, and the heroine saves him. So if that would be a trigger for you, that does happen, but he does get therapy and gets help. I thought that was a really important part of the story, and I really enjoyed that was included in the book. And then last but not least, this would be like the one Black romance author that I accidentally read. And I would say that a good part of that is because she does have white characters quite a bit. So I read her for the first time a couple years ago. So again, this is just a reminder to you, yes, you will read Black authors sometimes, I'm sure, if you don't do it on purpose. And I know I used to feel like, well, it's okay because I'm a mood reader. I don't know who the authors are. I don't care who they are. If it is a Black author, that's not like I'm not going to read their book because of that. But there are people who won't read the book because of that. And again, you're not going to come across them accidentally nearly as much as you're going to come across white authors accidentally. So go out of your way to find people who recommend diverse reads, who have similar tastes to you, and then read the books that they recommend that are by authors who don't look like you. Anyways, this is Whitney G. Now, I have read 7 of her books, 4 of which are serials, so there's a part of the storyline, and it's really like one book. My favorite by far from her has been 30 Day Boyfriend, and this girl is trying to quit her job and she can't get out of the contract, and her boss is causing issues anytime she tries to go and do a interview or anything. He threatens that company, is like, if you hire her, you will be blackballed. And he's powerful enough that this threat holds weight and she can't find another job, so she's stuck working with him. And then he's like, all right, you're trying to get out, here's what we'll do. 30 days, you're my fake fiance, and then at the end of it, I will let you go. You can go, and I'll give you this nice severance package, and I won't stand in your way to get another job. So that is the setup, and it's a great fake dating trope. It is a novella, and I loved it. This was recommended to me specifically by Spencer from Intentionally Bookish, and I did love it a lot. So those are my very favorite Black romance authors who I've read multiple books from. I have more that I am reading. I have more that I want to read. These are my favorites. I would love if you would please comment your favorite author, if you have any authors of color, but especially Black romance authors that you would like to recommend. I would appreciate that. The people who are looking at the comments would appreciate that because, again, they do not get enough promotion. And so if you could share your favorites, that would be great. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.